Good morning, class 11th. Welcome you all in Classroom Notes by Rekha Jain. Today we will study the chapter Ranga's Marriage by Masti Venkatesha Iyengar, and I will explain the chapter with the help of the original text and word meanings which are given by the side of the difficult words. Here narrator talks about the protagonist Ranga, who was very close to him, and author saw the most eligible bachelor in him, but was distressed simultaneously when Ranga was not interested in marrying until he found the right and matured girl. The narrator also speaks how English created a problem a decade ago of the time when the chapter was written, and most importantly of all, author was instrumental in getting Ranga married. He also talks about the astrology, how it can befool the people. So let us start the chapter here. Initially, you can have a look over different titles like Ranganathan Vivaha, Ranganathan Vijaya, and Jagannathan Vijaya Girija Kalyana. These all can be the substitute for a title Ranga's marriage, but since author was very close to Ranga, so he didn't need any fancy titles like this. Only Ranga's marriage, a simple title will suffice. Then he talks about Hoshali village where he lived, and he says that it's not mentioned in the map because English Sahibs did not mention it. And when English Sahibs didn't mention, our Indian geographers also did not mention. That means the way one behaved, others behaved in the same way. That means mob mentality, and that is clarified with the use of the phrase like a flock of sheep, one sheep walks into a pit, the rest blindly follows. So he is being humorous in mentioning this sentence, and he says, how can we expect Hoshali's village mentioned by the poor cartographer, because he is so humble person, he can't dare to mention it in front of the so important people. Then he regrets over his deviation, but simultaneously he tells that Hoshali is as important to Mysore as Mysore is to Bharatvarsha, and as Kari Gadabu is sweet to any festival meal in Mysore. Then he says that he is not the only one in Hoshali who speaks appreciatingly, glowingly about Hoshali. There is one more person with a doctor whose name is Gunda Bhatta, who thinks about Hoshali the same. Although author tells that his behavior is awkward, why? If somebody would ask him, for example, had he gone to England? Even if he had gone, he would always say, no, Annaya, I've left that for you. And author compares this doctor with a dog who is flea pestered. That means who is troubled by fleas. Fleas are the insects. And author uses simile here. Then author tells the two important features of Hoshali village. One is raw mango. They are so sour in taste. If you taste a bit of that, the soreness will reach to the interior part of your brain. And author says interior part here mentioned by the use of Brahmarandra. And author says once he tasted a chutney, the whole family tasted, and the whole family suffered a severe cough, and doctor then told about the special quality of the fruit. Then he talks about another thing which is as important as mango, and that is a creeper, whose flowers are very beautiful. And where does this creeper grow? This grows in the fine water of the village pond, and its flowers are the feast to behold. That means they are very beautiful. And author says that its leaves are so big in size, you just carry 2 leaves while taking a bath in the pool, and the 2 leaves combined together will serve the purpose of a plate for meal. Author says that readers will think he is rambling. Rambling here means straying, that means deviating. But he says, as and when the mention of Hoshali comes, emotions of attachment arouses in him. Then Author indirectly comments on the extravagant, the spendthrift use of English even at the time when many people were aware about the word meanings of English language. And moreover, people were not interested in sending their children out of the village for higher studies. And these two things happened in the village of Hoshali. And the accountant of the village had sent his son Ranga to Bangalore for higher studies. And it was the time when he came back from Bangalore during the break. And the incident regarding English, the incident was very disgraceful which took place there, and it took place in Rama Rav's house. In fact, some laborers had brought the firewood, and when the payment was to be given and inquired, a woman laborer told that it was 4 pice. Since 4 pice was a small amount, the boy didn't have any change and he spoke like that. But the that laborer who was a woman, could not understand the meaning, and she thought that she was being denied of her payment, and that's why she went away from there muttering, that means complaining in a low tone. See students, even Ranga was unaware about its meaning. He later came to know from, even the narrator was unaware about it. You say he came to know from Ranga later. And this priceless commodity, author tells this priceless commodity as English language. And Ranga's homecoming was a great event. People became curious to see whether there had appeared any change in him or not. Now, seeing so many people going to the house of Ranga, author also went there. Since he was unaware why the crowd had gone there, he just asked, "Is there any monkey performing?" A boy, who seemed to be stupid, started laughing loudly, and the narrator quoted him as an immature and mannerless boy. But he did not reply, even if the boy told him, commented over him, what was he doing there then. Then, so many people, when they came to Ranga's house, Ranga came outside, and author felt relieved over it. Why? Because Ranga's house was very small. Huge crowd could not have been adjusted inside. His house would have become the black hole of Calcutta. That means very congested. A metaphor is used by the author. And there was no change in Ranga, and people became very surprised. An old lady came close to him, ran her hand over his chest to ensure whether the Janevara, a sacred thread, was still there or not. When she confirmed that it was still there, she was also relieved. That means that he hadn't lost his caste. Ranga laughed over it. Now, seeing that Ranga was the same person with the same hands, same legs, same eyes and same nose, crowd melted away. That means went away from there just like a lump of sugar. Again, author is using simile here. Crowd is being compared to the lump of sugar. Disappearance is compared to the melting away. Then author still was there. He went close to Ranga, inquired about his good health, and Ranga bent down, touched his feet, did namaskara. Here author compares Ranga with modern boys, that modern boys are quite mannerless. They are not like Ranga. They just keep standing stiff. They just do the namaskara, keeping their, even if when they fold their hand, they don't bend their body as if it was a stiff, it was a hard pole. And he didn't only, merely here means only, he didn't only fold his hand but also bend down to touch his feet. And author blessed him to get married soon. After exchanging a few pleasantries, that means after conversing politely, narrator went away from there. Now, in the afternoon, Ranga, who was a very concerned, considerate, that means concerned and generous, because he came to the narrator with a couple of oranges. Then narrator talked to him about marriage, but Rangappa disclosed his plans that he would marry only when he would get a matured girl of his own choice. Then he quoted the example of his officer who married only at the age of 30 and wife was 25. And he further quoted the example of the play staged by a troupe in Bangalore. And the same theme was shown here. Kalidasa presents the two lovers, male and female, Shakuntala and Dushyant, as matured ones. And he said that was the genuineness of the play by Kalidasa. Was there any other reason? Author inquired. He said that yes, a girl whom he admired would be his wife. That means he won't admire a girl, an immature girl who cannot know how to maintain herself, because she won't be like reference of the milk stains on one side of the face and wetness on the other, and how to bite the fingers. All these three phrases refer to the immaturity of the girl. And then this is further made clear by the usage of the saying, one a neem fruit, neem is very bitter in taste, and other a bitter gourd. This is also a vegetable which is very bitter. That means the things will be worst if he marries an immature girl. Author became disappointed because he was the most suitable bachelor and who had decided to remain a bachelor. And after chatting, Ranga left from there. But author by then had made up his mind to get Ranga married with a girl whom he knew and who was the niece of Rama Rao, because he was a frequent visitor of Rama Rao's house and he knew the girl who had come from a big town. She knew how to play veena and harmonium. She also had a sweet and melodious voice. As her parents had died, she had come to her uncle's house who had brought her up. Now, narrator thought that Ranga and Ratna would be suitable for each other. And Ranga, okay, I think dear students, I should stop here, otherwise this video will be too long. You will be bored, and I will explain the next part of the chapter in my next video. Till then, bye bye.